Have you ever had someone say something that instantly ruined your mood? Maybe it was an offhand remark, an insult disguised as a joke, or a moment of outright rudeness. Perhaps they dismissed your hard work as if it meant nothing, made you feel small, or acted in a way that got under your skin without even realizing it. It happens all the time. A driver cuts you off in traffic and acts like it was your fault. A coworker throws a passive-aggressive comment your way. A friend or loved one lets you down when you need them most. And just like that, your peace is gone. You feel that frustration bubbling up inside you. Your chest tightens, and your mind starts replaying the moment over and over. Suddenly, it's not just about what happened. It's about everything that moment represents. You carry that irritation with you, letting it color your thoughts for hours, sometimes even days. It affects your mood, your focus, and your energy. Worst of all, the person who upset you probably isn't even thinking about it. But what if there was a way to break free from this cycle? What if no one could ever rob you of your peace again? What if you could train your mind to become untouchable, unshaken, completely in control, no matter what anyone says or does? This isn't about shutting yourself off in the world or pretending that nothing affects you. It's not about becoming numb, cold, or indifferent to life. It's about something far more powerful. The ability to build a mindset so unshakable that no external force can disturb your inner peace. Imagine living in a way where people's words, opinions, or actions don't dictate how you feel. Where no amount of negativity can drag you down, and no unexpected situation can throw you off balance. The ancient Stoics dedicated their lives to mastering this kind of control over their emotions. They believed that true freedom comes not from changing the world around you, but from mastering the way you respond to it. The truth is, no one has control over your emotions except for you. Not your boss, not a rude stranger, not even people closest to you. The only person who can decide how you feel, how you react, and how much power you give to a situation is you. Marcus Aurelius, one of history's greatest Stoic philosophers and a Roman emperor who faced betrayal, war, and immense pressure, understood this better than anyone. He once said, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you'll find strength." Take a moment and really think about that. The moment you stop trying to control everything outside of you and start focusing on controlling your own mind, that's the moment you become truly untouchable. Consider how much of your energy, time, and peace you waste getting upset over things that are completely out of your control. The rude cashier who barely acknowledges you. The unfair boss who overlooks your hard work. The person who disrespects you for no reason. These moments feel personal, but are they really worth your inner peace? The Stoics live by a simple but incredibly powerful rule. If you cannot control it, do not let it control you. That applies to everything. People's opinions, their actions, their words. The second you let someone's words dictate your emotions, you've handed them control over you. You've made them the master of your mood, your reactions, and ultimately your day. But why should anyone else have that kind of power over you? The truth is, they don't, unless you give it to them. There was a time in my life when I truly understood the power of this mindset. A few years ago, I had a coworker who, for whatever reason, seemed to make it his daily goal to test my patience. He would belittle my ideas in meetings, dismiss my contributions as if they were meaningless, and carry himself an air of superiority that made every interaction feel like a battle. No matter how hard I tried to ignore it, his behavior got under my skin. I found myself replaying our conversations in my head, thinking of all the things I should have said. I carried that frustration home with me, allowing it to darken my evenings, stealing the joy from moments that had nothing to do with him. Some nights, I even lost sleep over it, anger simmering in my mind long after the actual interaction had passed. Then one day, I stumbled upon a quote from Epictetus that changed everything. He said, "If someone succeeds in provoking you, realize that your mind is complicit in the provocation." That hit me like a ton of bricks. I had been blaming my co-worker for my frustration, but in reality, I was the one allowing his actions to control me. He wasn't reaching into my mind and forcing me to be angry. I was choosing to react that way. One of the most effective Stoic techniques for mastering your emotions is a practice known as premeditatio malorum, or the premeditation of evils. This powerful exercise involves mentally preparing for adversity before it even happens. Every morning, the Stoics would take a moment to anticipate potential challenges that could arise throughout the day. They would visualize setbacks, disappointments, and obstacles, perhaps encountering a rude person, facing betrayal, dealing with unexpected delays, or experiencing failure in some form. But this was not an exercise in negativity or pessimism. The goal was not to dwell on misfortune, but to prepare the mind so that nothing could catch them off guard. By expecting adversity, they stripped it of its ability to shock, overwhelm, or destabilize them. Instead of reacting emotionally in the moment, they had already decided in advance how they would respond, with patience, wisdom, and self-control. Seneca, one of the greatest Stoic philosophers, summed up this mindset perfectly when he said, "He robs present ills of their power who has perceived them coming." This means that when we mentally prepare for difficulties, they lose their ability to unsettle us. A prepared mind is a strong mind. Instead of being thrown into distress, frustration, or panic when life inevitably throws challenges our way, we can meet them with calm resilience. When you truly embrace this way of thinking, you become unshakable. You stop giving away your peace so easily. You stop letting external forces dictate your inner world. You realize that the most valuable thing you own is your own mind, and you learn to protect it fiercely. No longer do you allow minor inconveniences, thoughtless remarks, or other people's negativity to consume your thoughts. Instead, you meet life on your terms, unbothered, composed, and fully in control. And that is true freedom. When life takes an unexpected turn, the Stoic remains calm, composed, and in control. Rather than being swept away by emotions or reacting impulsively, they embrace whatever comes their way with grace and resilience. Their strength lies in their ability to maintain perspective, understanding that external events do not dictate their inner peace unless they allow it. One of the most powerful practices the Stoics developed is what they called the view from above. This mental exercise involves imagining oneself looking at life from a great distance, perhaps from high above the earth, as if viewing the world from space. From such a vantage point, personal problems and daily frustrations appear minuscule, insignificant in the grand scheme of existence. Now, zooming out even further, one can envision the entire planet, teeming with billions of people, each carrying their own burdens, facing their own struggles, and navigating their own challenges. In this broader context, a rude comment, an unfair action, or a fleeting moment of discomfort loses its weight and urgency. Marcus Aurelius, one of the greatest Stoic philosophers, used this practice to remind himself of the transient nature of all things. He wrote, "Everything we hear is an opinion, not a fact. Everything we see is a perspective, not the truth." When confronted with frustration or offense, the ability to zoom out and see the bigger picture allows for a more measured and rational response. Consider the last time someone upset you. Now project yourself into the future. Will that incident matter in a year? In 5 years? Most likely not. So why expend even 5 minutes of energy dwelling on it in the present? By detaching from the immediacy of emotion and viewing situations from a higher perspective, one gains clarity, control, and peace of mind. Beyond this shift in perspective, another crucial Stoic insight is the understanding of human behavior. Why do people act the way they do? Why is someone rude, impatient, or arrogant? Is their behavior truly about you, or does it stem from their own internal struggles? The Stoics taught that most actions are not personal attacks, but reflections of an individual's inner turmoil. When someone insults, dismisses, or treats another unfairly, they reveal far more about themselves than they do about the target of their negativity. Their actions stem from their own insecurities, fears, and frustrations. A person consumed by anger may be battling inner conflicts. Someone who lashes out may be burdened by unseen struggles. Their negativity is not a judgment of another's worth, but rather a mirror of their own inner state. This understanding led the Stoics to practice what could be called radical understanding. Instead of reacting emotionally to others' actions, they sought to see those actions as byproducts of conditioning, emotions, and personal struggles rather than as personal attacks. With this mindset, it becomes easier to stop taking things personally, to respond with detachment and wisdom rather than with impulsive emotion. Instead of engaging in anger or defensiveness, one can choose patience and clarity, recognizing that another's harsh words or actions are rooted in their own difficulties. Epictetus, another great Stoic philosopher, captured this idea perfectly when he stated, "When someone criticizes you, remember, you are not upset because they insulted you. You are upset because you believe them." This means that the true source of distress is not the insult itself, but rather the personal interpretation of it. If one refuses to internalize another person's words or actions, those words lose their power. True strength comes from understanding that one's worth is not defined by external judgment, and by choosing not to be affected by the fleeting emotions and opinions of others. The Stoic path is one of wisdom, self-control, and resilience. It is the ability to rise above momentary frustrations, to maintain perspective, and to recognize that external events and other people's behavior do not have to dictate inner peace. By mastering these principles, one gains the power to navigate life with greater ease, responding not with impulsive emotion, but with clarity, understanding, and unwavering composure. No one else controls your mind, your self-worth, or your emotions unless you allow them to. The moment you stop taking things personally, you become untouchable. Imagine a stone. You can yell at it, insult it, even stomp on it, but it remains unchanged, unmoved, and unaffected. This is the goal. Not to become emotionless, but to reach a state where you are in control of yourself rather than being controlled by the outside world. To be so deeply grounded in your own inner peace that no insult, no criticism, and no provocation can shake you. A large portion of our anger comes from wounded pride. When someone disrespects us, we feel an immediate urge to prove them wrong, to defend ourselves, to retaliate. We take offense because our ego demands validation. It wants to be seen as strong, intelligent, or worthy. But what if we simply let go of that need? What if we stopped seeking approval from others? What if we freed ourselves from the exhausting desire to always be right? True power does not lie in reacting. It is found in restraint. It is the ability to walk away, to remain silent when provoked, to choose peace over pointless conflict. A person who constantly feels a need to respond, to argue, to defend themselves is actually being controlled by others. Their emotions at the mercy of someone else's words and actions. But a person who can remain calm, who can let things go without losing their inner balance, is truly free. Marcus Aurelius understood this deeply, which is why he once said, "The best revenge is to be unlike him who performed the injury." This means that instead of sinking to someone else's level, you rise above it. Instead of reacting with anger, you respond with wisdom. Instead of becoming bitter, you remain disciplined and unshaken. In the end, the strongest person is not the one who wins arguments, but the one who refuses to be disturbed by them at all. The next time someone disrespects you, don't react. Observe. Let them reveal their true nature through their words and actions. A fool exposes their own character, while a wise person remains above it. Instead of engaging in conflict, choose silence, or even better, respond with kindness. There is nothing more confusing and disarming to an angry person than calmness. When you refuse to be dragged into their chaos, they are forced to confront their own foolishness. Putting this into practice requires conscious effort. Start small. The next time you feel anger bubbling up, pause. Take a deep breath. Ask yourself, is this within my control? Will this matter a year from now? What does this say about the other person, not me? Then choose your response. Don't react impulsively. Choose. Because that is where true power lies. Difficult people in challenging situations will always exist. That will never change. What can change, however, is your response to them. You are not a puppet, controlled by the words and actions of others. You are the master of your own mind. The moment you fully understand this, you become free. Seneca put it perfectly. A wise man is content with his lot, whatever it may be, without wishing for what he is not. When you have inner peace, nothing can disturb you. When you control your own mind, no one else can control you. The next time someone tries to provoke you, remember, it is a test of your discipline, your strength, and your wisdom. And you are stronger than any insult, any rude comment, or any unfair treatment. You are unshakable. This is a path to true mastery. The journey has just begun. Keep training your mind like a warrior,